Hey, what's up, guys? It's your bro Joe, and today we're gonna have some fun playing Corrupt. And Corrupt is a super fun mono black deck based around making the opponent discard a bunch of cards. We draw some cards ourselves and do Invoke Despair things, and then in the end, hopefully finish it off with Corrupt. This is a super fun card that says Corrupt deals damage to any target equal to the number of swamps you control. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. A really great way to finish off games when you've already been dealing damage, whether it's with Sheoldred or your Evolved Sleeper that's getting big, maybe your Misery Shadow that you've been slowly kind of adding mana to and making him bigger, and then you finish it off with a 6 target damage spell. A super fun one from Brothers War. Otherwise, this is a deck that we've pretty much already played on the channel. It's based around using your Duress, your Dread Fugue, your Pilfer, your Aggressive Sabotage to make them discard a bunch of cards. And then let's say you need to either remove something, you have your Infernal Grasp, and then you also have ways to draw cards yourself. You have your Sheoldred the Apocalypse to have them hurt when they draw cards or help us gain some life from our card draw. And then, of course, we have Invoke Despair in there. Just a really solid card all around. I mean, that's pretty much it with the deck. We're just trying to make them not be able to play anything because we're taking a look at their hand, knowing what they're playing, holding up the cards that we need, and making them discard the ones that they need. So, a really fun deck here. Let's go ahead and just hop into some games, and let's see how we do with Corrupt. Alrighty, not the biggest fan of this hand. Let's go ahead and mulligan, and we get tons of discard. Perfect. Let's keep this, and I'm actually debating... No, we just throw it on one Dread Fugue. It's really only good once, unless they're playing a lot of 2 mana or less spells, which up against blue they could be. Let's go ahead and take a look. We have Pilfer next turn, so we can get something really solid out of their hand here. What you got? I'm guessing it's probably only an opt, just deciding if they want to play it now or not. Okay, so they let us see it, and yes, it was a consider. So Thirst for Discovery, that's probably going to be gone. Fading Hope. We don't really need to worry about this yet. So let's take out their card draw. I would have used it before that resolved, but I guess they didn't. That's fine with me. Alright, so turn 2 here. If they didn't draw anything good, they can really only play land and do nothing else. Okay, so land and do nothing else. Okay, perfect. We get another Dread Fugue. Oh, goodness. We want to take out that Thirst for Discovery, though, and maybe... Okay, so it's just a land. No problem. Let's take out the Thirst for Discovery, so they can't use that, and they just can't draw cards. This is perfect. It's probably what their deck is built around. And we get a Corrupt. Perfect, and we're drawn into a bunch of lands, so this is going great. So we go Dread Fugue. We could cleave it. Yeah, the right place to cleave it. It's just like a Pilfer, but cleaved. They have another Fading Hope. Well... I mean, I guess we could... They have nothing in their hands really useful for the shore up, so let's go ahead and take one of the Fading Hopes, I guess. We can draw some cards next turn. Hopefully we draw into an Invoke Despair here shortly. Let's go ahead and wait for their turn to do this. So we'll go ahead and pass. We do have enough mana for an Invoke Despair next turn if we draw into it. So let's hope that we get some good top decks. Okay, perfect. Blood Pact, see if it resolves. It does. We don't get an Invoke Despair yet, and no Invoke Despair at all, but we do have a Corrupt, so this is pretty good. Let's go ahead and Duress, see what you got in hand. I love making them discard. It is so messed up, but it is just so much fun. That is why this deck is Corrupt. Alrighty, Shore Ups, another Fading Hope. They gotta have Jhin, right? So let's take away their chance to stop us from killing it. They could bounce it back to hand. We get another Corrupt. Oh, goodness. Alright, so we have 6 swamps, so they go down to 14, and we gain 6. And then next turn, we're going to Corrupt again. Hopefully, we can... Again, I want that Invoke Despair. Come on, deck. Impulse. Alright, looking at the top 4. Can they find the Jhin? They do have the mana for it. I think they found it. Impulse again. Okay, so they can't play the Jhin. That's got to be what this deck is, right? Another land, Tolarian Terror. Okay, that works just as well. This is to any target, so we could... Actually, it's Ward 2, so we can't quite take it out. Do we want to try and draw cards and see if we can get the Invoke Despair? That might be the better play here. And I think doing it on our turn is going to be the better play as well. So let's do... We draw 2, lose 2. We get a Dread Fugue. Okay, so we could take one of these guys out. We do also have the Infernal Grasp that we can pay 2 for, but they do have the Shore up. So let's go ahead and Dread Fugue now? Or do we try and see? Yeah, let's do it now. Let's take out that Shore Up. So that's 2 of them. They probably have 4 in the deck, so there's probably 2 more in there. 45 cards, chances of drawing into it is low. And then we can make them bounce it. We don't have the ward cost anyway, so we just got to pass here. We're doing kind of what we want to here. We've been doing our corrupt things, and it's just perfect. And we're going to gain the life back that they use for this, they deal for this terror anyway. Down to 17, and they say go. All right, go to our turn. We get an Evolved Sleeper. I like that. That's not bad at all. Let's go ahead and see if we can corrupt here. Let's go Evolve Sleeper first. Okay, so they do have a response. It's probably just that Fading Hope. But they gotta have some counter spells as well if they're playing Jhin. Alright, corrupt. See if they counter it. I have a good feeling that they don't have a counter here, but I could be totally wrong. They've dealt through so many cards on the top of their deck, and they can't find that Jhin. Tons of cards in the graveyard, though. He's going to be huge when he comes out. And then they use the Fading Hope. Okay, that's fine. This guy can get big the turn we play just because of how much land we have. Alrighty, deck. It's time. Give us something good. Give us Sheoldred. Give us Invoke Despair. Give us another Corrupt. That would be pretty crazy. Okay, they thirst for discovering more delving. And they discard the basic land. Did they get the Jhin? They have the mana. They don't play him yet. Second main. And they don't have it. Oh my goodness. Alright. Evolve Sleeper here. And then we'll Infernal Grasp on their turn. So let's go ahead and just pass. We can also respond by 4, 5, 6. We could draw a card this next turn depending on what they play. Another land. I feel kind of bad in this game. It's really unfortunate that the opponent's just not drawing into what they want. Okay, so they're just going to bounce it again. That's fine. We'll let that resolve. Attackers, let's try and Infernal Grasp this. And we will pay the ward cost. No problem. If they're smart, they would make us pay the ward first. But okay, they make it phase out. That's fine. So now we decline to pay the ward since it's already gone. So we have more mana up. Oh, and we get the Invoke Despair. But it's phased out. Oh, goodness. Okay, so they don't have to sacrifice it. That's actually really unfortunate. We would draw 3 cards, bring them down to 1. That might be okay. Still, we could get Blood Pact and then make him die off that. We already have 2 of them. We could get into a bunch of discard. I might just want to do it now and bring it down to 1. Let's see if it'll resolve. Oh, they might have the counter spell. That'd be super unfortunate here, but I feel like they might only have the counter target spell unless they pay 2. Could be a negate, though. What's going to be, opponent? Okay, it resolves. They go down to 1. We get a Sheoldred, so they actually are dead next turn unless they can counter this. They do have the counter spell to make disappear. Okay, that's exactly what I thought they had. How's their top deck luck, though? Okay, they swing in. Can we get a Blood Pact or something decent? Aggressive Sabotage. That's fine. Let's go ahead and do this before so that if they have a counter spell, we can take it out of their hand. Then we can play our Sleeper. It was just a land anyway. Evolve Sleeper and pass turn. And just be a land off the top here. If it's a land, they won't swing in because they have to block. Looks like it might be another Fading Hope or something like it. Maybe a protection spell. I guess there's a couple of spells that they can use on our guy, so they could still swing in, just keep on trying to get that damage down. If they have, maybe they have a Hullbreaker Horror in there too. That could be it. I don't really see them having that in this deck because I think it's just Jhin Terror. Okay, pass to attackers. I think they'll swing in. Yeah, So they have some sort of phase out card. So what's the play here? Do we make them use it? Yeah, we make them use it on their turn. So what we're going to do is take the damage, because we can only make it a 4/4, so no blocks. Damage down to 7. We need some top deck luck here. We can also draw a card with our sleeper. So we're going to make them we're going to force them to use it on our turn. Otherwise, we're going to get value off it. If they can bounce it back to hand, which it looks like it might be because of how they're targeting it, then... Okay, so it looks like we're getting all the value. Perfect. We get an Aggressive Sabotage and we get a Pilfer. So they're going to have to use this no matter what. Let's try and get out of their hand. Force them to use it now. Okay, this is a sorcery, so I wish it was at instant speed, but I guess they're going to use it anyway. Okay, Pilfer. What you got in there? They're going to be bluffing this whole time. It'll be a land. Okay, is the slip out the back. That's exactly what I thought it would be, and that's actually game, right? We could try and draw a card here. Misery Shadow. Okay, it's not game. We do have a card that we can play here. So it's going to give it a counter and have it phase out. We could try and draw another card and see what we can get. And then play the Misery Shadow. I think that's the right play just while he's still here. Okay, we get an Invoke Despair. So we have game unless they can counter that. So we'll let this resolve. They have nothing in hand. We play our Misery Shadow. That's a blocker. And if they top deck a land here, we'll be okay. No way. Don't tell me they got something that they can take our Misery Shadow. Oh, it's just a land. Alrighty, and with that, that is good game. I know. We really got lucky there with the Evolved Sleeper top deck. And we're going to finish it just like how this deck should with the Invoke Despair. That was such a fun game. We get another Invoke Despair off the top, a bunch of land, and we did it. That was a perfect game. That showed exactly what this deck is trying to do. We rank up to Silver Tier 2. If you couldn't tell, haven't been playing much standard rank, but that was a lot of fun. Let's keep playing some games. Alrighty, we got Discard Central. I love this hand. This is what this deck is trying to do. I mean, we got a lot of things this deck is trying to do, but discarding is definitely one of them. So we'll Duress, non-creature, non-land. Fable the Mirror Breaker. They got 2 of them. Alright, that's fine. We'll take one of them. No problem. Looks like this is going to be some sort of prowess. Non-creature spell deck. Land into probably nothing. Yep. We get a Misery Shadow. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and Pilfer. See what else we can steal from him. What'd you draw? Discarding is so fun. I think personally, I think it's probably one of the best decks in Standard right now. And I haven't seen too much from the Brothers War because I've been gone for a bit. But I really, really love discard. I don't like that Fable. The Iconoclast can get pretty good, especially if they're doing a lot of card drawing. But I don't think these little guys are going to be able to take us out once we start getting going. So let's take the Fable. It's just too good. So we'll throw that away. They'll go ahead and they'll draw a card with this Consider. That's fine. Let's see if they throw anything to the graveyard. Probably just a land, if anything. Okay, so they just draw it. No problem. Alright, well, Misery Shadow, I wish it had flying. I mean, it's literally flying. And it's crossing its fingers, too. That's one thing I saw here. It looks like it's just crossing its fingers. It's like, we got this. Alright, Iconoclast comes down. Yep, expected that. We get another Misery Shadow. What's Aggressive Sabotage? They'll probably just discard 2 lands here, but that could be huge. Discard. Haha, so good. I would hate playing against me right now. Oh, it's just... Let's say they have some really, like, a really busted hand and they have to just discard it. It feels so bad. So they discard 2 Abrades. That's good, so... Well, that's only damage to creature. I mean, that could have killed one of our Misery Shadow. Swing in, bring us down to 18. They do have the Shore Up. We get a Sheoldred. Do we think they have a counterspell? I'm going to say no. I could be totally wrong. Come on. Impulse. Okay, that's fine. They create a 1/1 soldier. That's fine. So they're going to start... Their drawing of cards are going to start hurting him here. And hopefully we can find like a Blood Pact so we can start drawing cards, gain, you know, the 2 points of damage of life that we took back. Okay, they Fading Hope it. That's fine. Another soldier. Cool, cool. Building a really small board and their hand is really small. That's what I'd like to see. Down to 14. Give us something good off the top. A land. I'll take that. That gets us in Invoke Despair range. We will play our Sheoldred. Hopefully they didn't draw into the... Okay, no counterspell. Perfect. Maybe another Fading Hope, though. Alright. Lose 2 life. Down to 17. Bunch of cards in their graveyard already. And perfect. Keep on not drawn into anything. Corrupt. We just need 1 land and we can get that thing off. I wish it drew us cards just like the Invoke Despair, but it would probably be like a mythic at that point. Alright, we can double Misery Shadow here. They could, to 4, they could shore up and kill the Sheoldred. So let's just go Misery Shadow times 2 here. We can start swinging with that, and then we can always just use our mana for these guys if we'd like. Such a good card. Again, I wish it had flying, especially since it's so rare, but again, maybe it might have been like a mythic if it had flying, because it's just crazy. I mean, that's a turn 3 5/5 flyer coming at your face, and alright, they weren't having it. I think we really took charge of that game with all of this card that was going on. That just shows how absolutely amazing this card is, and that was a lot of fun. And perfect timing, we have to restart MTG Arena. Let's play some more games, though. Alright, I'm a big fan of this hand. We got Dread Fugue, we got Aggressive Sabotage, as well as Evolved Sleeper in between. A little bit of card draw. Let's go ahead and keep this. We're up against Riboflavin. Let's go ahead and take a look at the hand first. That good old turn 1. Show me what you got. Okay, so we do have the Jin Terror combo here. They'll play this next turn no matter what. I mean, we could take it out of their hand, and then I don't want them to counter spells. So let's throw that in the graveyard. The sad part about this is that they're still benefiting from us throwing it into the graveyard. Yeah, Delver of Secret's cool. We get a Sheoldred off the top. That's good as long as we can find land. Let's go Evolve Sleeper and say go. This guy can slowly start getting bigger, and usually they don't have point removal, but they will be returning it to our hand a lot. Okay, so they didn't find the thing for the Delver of Secrets, and they do pass. We'll go ahead and level up our Evolve Sleeper. And we do get a land. Perfect. So we do have Sheoldred. Let's Aggressive Sabotage, or do we level this guy up to level 2? No, it's definitely going to be Aggressive Sabotage. Force them to discard some of those cards and hope that they don't have the lands, unless they can just counter it. They do have enough for a Make Disappear. Okay, they discard a Jin and a Terror. There's a chance that they already have 2 of those in there. Interesting. That's a really interesting discard. This is literally what your deck is based around, and you discard him. Wow, they didn't get a instant or sorcery off the top. Do they have the 3rd land? They do. Do they have the Jin? It doesn't look like it, or they could just be waiting until 2nd main. We can play our Sheoldred next turn, start hurting them for their card draw. It's actually really perfect having a Sheoldred in this situation because they have that Thirst for Discovery. We'll probably play it in response to the Thirst for Discovery and just see what they can find off the top. Or do it now. What's it going to be, my friend? Alright, we get a Duress. That's fine. Swamp. And yeah, I think we go our plan Sheoldred. Hopefully they don't have a counterspell. It's fine if they do. Okay, they let it resolve, which is interesting before they play the Thirst for Discovery, so that was probably just a misplay. Yeah, oops. All good. I do it too. Yep, so they Thirst for Discovery. They lose 6 life. Oh my goodness. Always have a backup plan. Alright, did they get something good? That's the question, because they have to make that 6 life worth it. What did you discard? Is that... Okay, Consider, Spell... they have Spell Pierce in there, and a Thirst for Discovery. So a lot of just the card draw things. We might win this just by them drawing cards. That's how good Sheoldred is. Alright, down to 16. Impulse, yep, looking for more stuff, trying to find that Jin probably. I don't know why they discarded it. I think that was probably the wrong play, but maybe they just had land that they needed to keep. Who knows? And okay, here comes the Terror. Perfect, that's fine. So draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. So they lose 6, they go down to 2 here. And we win. Yeah, so we just win this turn. That's fun. Oh, that was kind of a misplay. play. No, since this is instant speed, we'll still win. So we can swing in. I thought it might have been a misplay because Sheoldred's going to die here, but we need to make sure we Blood Pact before she dies. Yes, we'll target them with the Blood Pact. They'll draw 2. They lose 4 because of the Sheoldred. They lose 2, and then we go to damage and take the win. That was such a good way to win it. Oh my goodness. That's actually what I was thinking of with the Blood Pact, and the reason I had it in the deck was because I knew that that situation would arise. And that was a perfect game. We literally drained them just by them drawing cards. So much fun. Alrighty guys, so there you have it. There was the Corrupt deck. This thing was so much fun to play. I already knew it was going to be solid once we had all of these discard pieces. We already played a deck similar to it on the channel with the Evolved Sleeper, all the discard, Sheoldred, and Invoke Despair, but it was really fun to see how Corrupt fit in. We did have that first game where it really popped off and we were able to see how much damage it can do. I think it's a really solid uncommon to just kind of throw into a deck, maybe even like a 2 of in your typical mono black, because sometimes you just need that card to help finish off the opponent, and having that target damage is super nice. You also gain a little bit of life with it, so really sweet there. It was also really fun to see at the last game there where we were able to Blood Pact and kill the opponent off with the Sheoldred. I think we did pretty much all the damage except for 2 just with Sheoldred's card draw ability, and that she's broken. We already know that. So a really fun deck here playing Corrupt. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comments below. Let me know if I missed any cards. I know that I kind of did miss a card already. I was taking a look at the Brothers War, and they have this really fun card, Dreams of Steel and Oil. This is almost better late game because, to me, you lose a little bit of value when there's no artifact or creature cards in their graveyard to be exiled. But exiling a card from their hand is huge because... like, instead of having them discard it and be able to use it, and since we have like Unearth and we have a bunch of cards that you can remove stuff from the graveyard, you totally exile it from the game, and this could be a really solid addition. So maybe throw this in instead of Duress. I'm not sure. I kind of saw it after I created the deck already, and I think it would be just as powerful as what the deck is now. So just a little fun thing that you can throw in there. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, go ahead and subscribe and leave a like, because I wouldn't want you to miss out on any more fun decks like this one. All right, that's it for me. Peace out.